morning, everyone. My name is Jeffrey Romeo.
And I am Yanette Burnett.
And this is the Global Perspective. This is a podcast about politics, what you like about politics, what you don't like about politics, and what you don't know about politics.
The hot topics, the not so hot topics, the funny ones, and the not so funny ones.
And the outright what the hell topics.
Definitely, there's a lot of what the hell.
And the one thing we're going to mention in this podcast more often than not is one simple fact.
Spill the beans.
Ronald Reagan did not end the Cold War. We're tired of hearing this. As political science majors, we're tired of hearing that. But before we get into Before we get into any of the topics, let's introduce each other so we know who we are. So,
well, my name is Yanette Burnett. I am 23 years old and I graduated the University of Miami with a bachelor's in political science and international studies with a minor in Portuguese. And I am currently working at a law firm as a legal assistant, and I will be attending law school next August.
And she was a former beauty queen also.
And I was a former beauty queen. I was Miss Hollywood USA.
Yes.
Yay.
And I am Jeffrey Romeo, and I used to be a student at Miami-Dade College. Right now I'm currently a presidential scholar at the University of Miami. I work for the State Department. I'm on contract at this moment. I'm currently going to be a foreign service officer. I did the student government presidency, Phi Theta Kappa presidency, name it, I've done it. It's been fun. That's all I can say. It's been fun. But anyway, let's get into our first topic of the day.
The 2016 presidential election. Everyone is talking about it, so let's talk about it.
Everyone is talking about the
Definitely.
two major political parties that have been running the United States for a while now, and that is the Democrats and the Republicans. The Republican Party is sort of interesting because they're not just Republicans. They have subgroups.
Well, okay, so they're libertarians. They branch off from the Republican Party and the whole less government.
Reaganomics. It's Reaganomics.
Reaganomics.
Yeah. And the Tea Party is just, well, for lack of a better terms, if even the Republican Party himself, Speaker John Boehner says they're a bit extreme when they go to certain issues. I mean, well, most issues they're pretty extreme.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's not a large group of people necessarily, but it's still notable to mention it. And
they cause some ruckus, so
a lot of ruckus.
So they get media notoriety.
Yeah, they do. And then we have the Democratic Party, which I don't really know if there's any subgroups in the Democratic Party. I think you just have the Democrats, the moderates, the conservative Democrats, and the liberal Democrats. That's pretty much what you have. So, 2016 presidential election. One name is everywhere at this moment because he launched an exploratory committee and I ran to the computer to look at it.
Somebody's very, very excited.
So, and that is Jeb Bush. What do you think?
Well, I think he has a very good shot. He's moderate. He's going to appeal to the general election to pretty much both sides, independents. However, his problem is getting to the primaries. Getting through the primaries, getting that Republican base really... The conservative ones. Getting them riled up for him.
Yeah, because let's be realistic. The other candidates are going to be a lot more conservative than he is. Because
we have Huckabees.
We have Huckabees. We have Ted Cruz's. We have Rick Perry's. How many times has he run for president now? 15, 16?
We looked it up. He actually ran for every presidential election in this millennium.
And he's been governor of Texas in 2016, 16 years governor of Texas.
That's a long time.
I mean, obviously he's doing something right. Hold
on. So I guess he started after Bush's son.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not entirely
That would be
sure.
interesting.
We're going to have a fact checker check that right now. I think so. But, okay, let's just go back to Bush for a second. Do you think he's going to get the nomination, realistically? Because the biggest issue I have with him, and I always have, is that he was the governor of Florida. Mm-hmm. It means he's never been challenged when it comes to foreign policy.
That's true.
He does have a family, his father has an extensive resume. Mm-hmm. His brother, debatable on how he is on foreign policy.
And debatable his resume before being president. But this one at least has a solid, he says he has a solid
When it comes to domestic politics, I mean, sure, he can be effective. But realistically, I think what's going to hurt him is something that hurt Mitt Romney, the foreign policy. Mm-hmm. That debate in 2012, Mitt Romney versus Obama for foreign policy, was just embarrassing to watch. It was hard to watch.
Yeah.
Obama was just eating.
And imagine Jeb Bush against the Secretary of State.
Well, we're
gonna... that's gonna be...
So I guess this is a good time to introduce probably the first candidate for the Democratic Party, and that's Hillary Clinton.
Our former Secretary of State. who traveled to more countries than any other Secretary of State in the history of the United States.
However, but the big analogy when it comes to Hillary is this. Her resume. She was a senator, which means she's good when it comes to domestic politics. She basically is like she was Secretary of State basically. And then you have like
basically, it was a fact.
basically, yeah, it was a fact. By the way, the fact that we said about Rick Perry was a complete fact. We just fact checked it. But when it comes to Hillary Clinton, like I was mentioning, she's good when it comes to foreign policy and domestic policy. That's just legit.
And she was a senator for a big, important state, New York.
New York. And don't forget she was First Lady. She had a lot of political initiatives when her husband was president.
Exactly. And at the same time, they got themselves both into some controversies. We have Travelgate, Whitewater.
And the big one,
Benghazi.
However, we're telling everyone, read the report Congress posted that literally said Hillary Clinton was not at fault for what happened in Benghazi.
If we made this show for the idea to give people both sides, and then from there they make their own decisions. So I feel like anything we talk about here, we encourage you to check for yourself.
Exactly.
Read the reports and really make an educated election. You vote for the one that really gets you fired up, and something that's not because we say it or because somebody else say it, but somebody that you like personally.
Exactly. I mean,
and the report's a good way to start.
It is a good way.
It's an interesting read, and while you're there, also read the torture reports.
That too, of course. Just make it from that to that. Now, for the Republican Party, there's a complete candidate who we have a bet that is going to run. I think he's going to run. Janet disagrees.
I don't think so.
And that is Mitt Romney. And I will say it to my dying day. He was campaigning for the Republican Party in the midterm election. He is going to run again for president. Let's be realistic. He has the money.
He does have the money.
He has the money. He has the support from the Republican Party, just like last time.
However, he said in 2012 that was his last presidential campaign.
Well, he said the same thing in 2008.
Yeah, he's a flip-flopper. We get it.
We get it.
Established.
And one interesting documentary, everyone should see this on Netflix, is Mitt. It talked about his 2008 presidential election, 2012, how stressful it was on his family and on him also.
On him. I think it's a huge ego shot, like when you...
He lost twice.
When you lose, it takes a toll on you. So maybe that's why I think that he just can't do it anymore. He's done. His ego is hurt. That's it. Move on.
I think he's going to run. You disagree? I think he's legitly going to run.
Let's see. We made a bet on everything.
But let's think about it. Domestically, he's going to be good. He's a businessman. Mm-hmm. He knows how to handle business.
Yeah, a lot of people really liked him for that.
He saved the Olympics. He had Bain Capital and stored it to, incredible. Fortune 500. Mm-hmm. However, here we go again with the foreign policy. He does not know anything about foreign policy.
He has no experience. I think that's the problem with governors in general.
Yeah,
governors, since they're very good at domestic politics. That's pretty much what governors do. However, they don't have that much touch with other countries.
Yeah, true.
So, you have to prioritize what's more important. A president that's very good in domestic issues, who can really understand the American people's struggles, or someone who has a lot of foreign policy experience that could really expand our ideals abroad.
I don't know about you, but I prefer the balance.
In an ideal world.
Here's a fun fact. Me and Janet met last November when it was a Charlie Crist campaign, and the speaker was Joe Biden, which leads us to say Joe Biden is going to run for president, and he's going to face Hillary. I think Hillary and him is going to be the only one going back and forth.
I personally don't think he's going to run because the Democratic Party has a superstar. Like we were saying the other day, nowadays politics have turned to be something bigger than politics itself.
They're celebrities.
They're celebrities. So can Joe Biden really be compared to the star power that is Hillary Clinton at this point?
You know what I honestly think? I honestly think Joe Biden's going to run for president. He's not going to win, and Hillary's going to give him the vice presidency again. He's going to be the longest running vice president in American history.
I don't think he would like that too much.
I don't think he would like that either.
I don't think he would
look at Hillary and be like, Hillary, that is malarkey. I want the presidency.
That's pure malarkey. I had it.
I don't know how legit he would be, like I said before. Going back to the Republican Party again, Ted Cruz. He was kind of born in Canada, so I don't know why they consider him a presidential nominee, but we should mention Ted Cruz may run for president.
And I have the Constitution next to me, actually. It comes in handy for issues like this. And we shall refer to Article 2, Section 1, when the Constitution talks about who can actually run for president. And it says, no person except a natural-born citizen or a citizen of the United States at the time of the adoption of this Constitution shall be eligible to the office of president.
In other words, he was born in Canada. He can't run for office. And you know what?
And he was not alive during the Constitution.
And you know what? When the Constitution was adopted.
Exactly.
And the one thing that people don't understand is that not only the liberals don't like Ted Cruz, the conservatives don't like Ted Cruz. And that's for a simple reason. I mean, you hear these stories that this guy's just arrogant in Congress. He doesn't
shut down government.
He shut down government. He filibustered. I mean, it was this guy. He's just not like from anyone. I don't see the Republican Party throwing money at this guy.
Do you think he would filibuster if the Republican Party doesn't want to nominate him for president?
I think he would.
I think he would filibuster the National Convention.
He would filibuster the National Convention. I would totally see that happening.
Green eggs and ham.
Totally. He's only been a senator for 2 years.
Yeah, he doesn't have that much experience.
Not much experience.
Honestly. Not for the office of the presidency. That's a big deal.
So when it comes to the Democratic Party again, obviously one candidate was big, and that's the governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo. But obviously, you know, we pray for him. His father passed away on New Year's Day. But I think since his father passed away, he's not gonna run for president this term. He may run for president later on.
And maybe he needs more national coverage.
Yeah, he does definitely more national coverage. I don't think he's going to run this term. That's just my opinion because his father's not going to be around. He needs some time to, reflect on that. Now
let's talk about the independent.
The independent runner. And many people don't even know he's an independent. He's an independent.
I had no idea.
He's an independent. There you go. He's an independent senator from Vermont. His name is Benji Sanders. I got to see him live. When I spent my summer in Washington, D.C., I went to the Senate, and I saw him give a couple of speeches. He actually speaks a lot when he's in the Senate. Mm-hmm. And the man knows his stuff. He knows his... But again, here's the issue again. He's not foreign policy strong.
Yeah.
He is wicked smart when it comes to domestic issues, when it comes to Medicare, when it comes to military, when it comes to education. I mean, his initiatives are amazing.
And at the end of the day, it's going to come to the people's priorities. What do they prioritize?
It is. Well, right now, it's probably going to be the economy, but if you have another one where, you have the performance of what Mitt Romney had in the foreign policy debate, they're not going to enjoy it.
But then, especially nowadays with Russia being a legitimate threat again, I mean, we need somebody that's going to take a firm stance in these issues. We have the Middle East going crazy.
Yeah.
We have Russia putting...
Taking Crimea.
Yes, pretty much entering Cold War number 2.
Yeah. Well, I think we've been in the Cold War for a while. We're still in the Cold War, just threatening each other left and right. We'll get to that later. But...
So we need somebody that's foreign policy strong.
Yeah. I mean, okay. If it was tomorrow, if the presidential election was tomorrow, who would be the Republican? I think we both agree. It's going to be Jeb Bush versus Hillary Clinton, Republican and Democrat.
All day, every day.
That's legit. That's just legit. And we might have the independent. Okay, fine. We have Benji Sanders as the independent.
Just, to fill in.
I'm not gonna ask who's gonna win the presidential election itself, who's gonna get the most votes or anything. Let's be realistic. Who's gonna win Florida and who's gonna win Ohio, the 2 biggest swing states?
Ooh, okay. So I personally think Florida's for Jeb.
Yeah, I think so too. He was governor of Florida. He's gonna win.
And Floridians really like Jeb Bush. He was an effective governor. I think so. I mean, Florida went to his brother.
Yeah,
Come on.
That's fun election. Very fun election.
Let's remember that.
And we're always gonna be known. I think they should rename Florida as the redo state. That's what we should be.
Yeah, we can't get any elections together.
No,
we really can't.
I mean, last presidential election, I remember how long did it take us to certify Obama's vote? I think it was an entire week.
I think, yeah.
I think it was an entire week.
We were by far the last one.
What do you think of Ohio, though? I think it's going to go to Hillary.
I think so.
Hillary completely is going to take it.
I think it's going to be the North with Clinton.
Well, there's going to be a couple in the campaign trail. Chelsea's going to campaign. I'm sure Bill's going to campaign. So, yeah, right. It's going to go to the Clintons.
And then the South for the Bushes.
For the Bushes. There you go. They have Texas. They have Florida. They have the entire South. It's going to go to the Bushes. Now, I honestly feel that just on star power alone, Hillary's gonna win.
I think so.
Just star power alone.
I mean, she's very charismatic. He appeals to the masses. He appeals to the young vote, for the women's vote. She appeals for, honestly, everyone. And she's moderate. I think she'll take it. And it's time for a woman president, honestly. And it's not because I'm a woman, but it's because it's time. It's been almost 100 years since we got the right to vote, and still we haven't seen a representative in office.
Yeah,
I think it's time.
I think the 2016 presidential election will be interesting to watch because specifically we're gonna have two legacies. Clinton versus Bush.
Two huge powerhouses. It's gonna be the debate for like the ages.
And we're sorry if any presidential candidate is actually listening to this. Sorry, it's gonna be Bill versus. It's gonna be Hillary versus Jeb.
Maybe next time.
I mean,
there's more years.
Yeah, Rick Perry's ran 5 times. Who knows? Maybe the 6th time's a charm. I'm just saying. We'll be fine. He'll be fine. Okay, so we're going to close it out with a funnier segment that we have created. As you know, Anderson Cooper has the, what is it called?
The Ridiculous.
The Ridiculous. So we're going to have our own. What were they thinking?
This is by far my favorite segment.
It's going to be hilarious. So what's going to happen, me and Janet are going to both talk about one subject in past or present that any politician has ever done that may be funny or more like, what the hell happened?
Yeah, that makes us think, what were they thinking?
Yeah, and what in God's green earth was John McCain thinking when he nominated Sarah Palin as vice president?
Seriously, what was he thinking?
Well, I mean, the woman has X-ray vision. She can see Russia from the backyard.
She has binoculars in her eyes. This is insane.
I'm serious, but did you know?
I wear glasses. Can I borrow one of her eyes?
You know what's funny? Let me tell you something. I can see City Hall from my backyard, too. That doesn't even qualify me as mayor. I'm just saying.
Hey, following her line of reasoning, what are you doing here?
It does. But did you know, fun fact. It's a fun fact. Did you know that waterboarding is like baptism? Can you believe that woman said that?
Hey, I mean, we were waterboarding people since the Bible.
Well,
so maybe,
maybe
she has some great historical perspective.
Perspective.
Did not even know.
Like, I don't know, calling North and South Korea Chinese. I mean, that's a pretty good one too. Mm-hmm. Pretty accurate, don't you think?
Her geography is on point.
It is.
Just like Africa is a country, not a continent.
Complete country, yeah. It's a country.
How did you not know this?
Forget about all those 50 nations. No, it's just one country.
She reminds me of my ex-boyfriends. They both were completely horrible at geography. One of them said Italy was next to Italy. No, Italy was next to Israel.
Italy was next to Italy. That's a good one.
That's I'm part of it too.
They're rubbing off on you. It's hilarious. It's funny. It's funny. I mean, okay, but let's be a little realistic for 1 second before we just keep cracking on this poor lady. Let's be honest. Something. Obviously, she's a woman, and he was nominated because of the woman's vote. I mean, that's just the stone cold truth. Now, you as a woman, what do you feel about that? That she was just nominated because she's a woman, not because she's smart, ambitious, nothing. Just because she is a woman. How do you feel about that?
I feel like she brings women back to like even before we could vote of how ridiculous this lady is. I mean, and I understand their campaign strategy. This guy was going against Obama, who was a liberal. He was young. He's black. He needed something. But I feel so hurt and disrespected and all that by picking a woman simply for political reasons. Come on, this lady is not qualified, and there's plenty of smarter women out there. Why did he pick a smarter woman? Why her?
Why her? Why?
And it did not help the fact that she was a beauty queen. And I'm like, really?
Oh, she was a beauty queen?
Yeah, she ran for Miss Alaska.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so it hurts me even double because as a beauty queen, like, we already have the bad stereotype, and now you're gonna add it with this lady doesn't even know geography. Come on, it's not helping.
Well, you know what they say. You know what all the liberal media was saying. She was definitely electrizing the base, the conservative base. But I don't think they were talking about the right base, though. I mean,
he's talking about the Tea Party.
What did she say? Drill, baby, drill. Oh man, she's a character. But I'll tell you one thing. She's gonna make it up. 2016, Sarah Palin.
I hope. I honestly hope just for comedic purposes. I feel, a lot of comedians said that the golden age of political comedy was during the Bush administration. If we have President Palin, it's going to be the golden age number 2.
And you know what? She's going to create jobs. She's going to create new comedians. She's going to create jobs right there from day one.
Which this lady is against government creating jobs. So I wonder how she feels about that. How she's creating comedians.
Listen,
jobs.
I don't think she knows how to spell government to begin with, so I don't think we should talk about job creation. But you know what's funny? You know who I think she should nominate as vice president? Michelle Bachmann.
Oh my God.
That would be Michelle Bachmann and Sarah Palin in the White House is gonna be like Las Vegas production of Rain Man.
The destruction of the 100 years that we're trying to build women up, this ladies together will destroy all those 100 years.
We will never see another woman president in our lifetime.
No, ever.
Never again.
Never.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been fun talking to you about the presidential election. We'll be back with more episodes of coming soon. And let's give her the information.
You can catch us on social media. We have our personal Instagram and Twitter page. My Instagram is Miss Brunette. Miss_Brunette. MISS_BRUNET. And my Twitter page is Yanet with a Y. YANET_B.
Well, I personally don't have an Instagram, so obviously...
But we're going to fix that very soon.
Very soon, yeah. That she's calling the shots on public affairs there. When it comes to Twitter, my Twitter is at the next Depp, like Johnny Depp with the last name. I was going through a phase, you know, what are you gonna do? And then I have my Facebook, just look me up, Jeffrey Romeo, JEFFREY ROMEU. I'm probably the only one there with that last name. So there you have it.
Next time.
We recommend you to send us a bunch of messages, make fun of us, whatever you like.
Anything. We want to know what topics we should discuss next. We want to know what you guys want to know about, what you guys want to talk about. We would love to get comments, suggestions, anything. And tell your friends to watch.
And
tell
subscribe.
everyone, subscribe.
And also let us know if you want us to talk about any certain topic. We'll research and we will talk about it next time. Thank you very much for listening. Have a good day.